Our drive to the state title is nearing its conclusion. The high school football semifinals are coming up this weekend. Here's Joey Dubois with more.
All right, we're joined now by legendary former Highland head coach Gino Mariani. Coach, thanks so much for joining here today.
Absolutely.
All right, so we'll start it off. I mean, we got to start it off with the Highland Rams. They're playing in the 5A state semifinals tomorrow night against Meridian. Just what have you seen from this year's Highland group that makes them so special?
Well, they got a senior-laden group as far as their offense is concerned. You got kids that have been around the program in a while. They understand, what's going on there, and as far as the expectations, and I think that's one of the biggest things that people understand, that is Highland comes in every year with high expectations, and if you don't want those kind of expectations, you're not going to be at Highland, and I think that those kids eat that alive. They love it. It's something that I took over, that was handed down to me, and we've obviously handed it down to Nick, and he understands that as a coach, head coach, and those kids buy in. They love it, and winning's a tradition there, and that's kind of the expectation.
In Highland versus Meridian, on the other side, it's Eagle versus Coeur d'Alene. Eagle's still undefeated, but they're kind of squeaking out a lot of these victories. I'm wondering, when you look at the 5A landscape statewide, the conversation so far is that it's pretty wide open. Is that how you see it as well?
I think so. Right now, I really look at Highland's the team, to beat in it. It's theirs to lose, to be honest with you, because they have everything right in front of them. Everything's in the dome. As long as they win, and that's such a huge advantage playing there when teams don't understand the type of conditioning you have to have in the fourth quarter to play in that place, and it gets warmer. It's probably a lot harder now after all the renovations, and so that's kind of a neat thing for them. And like I said, I think it's theirs to lose. Meridian is going to be a good challenge for them. It's hard to beat a team a couple times, and I think Highland's going to have a little leg up on that.
Perfect. Now let's jump over to 4A, where we have a rematch of a already legendary game earlier this year between Hillcrest and Skyline. I'm wondering if you see this maybe as a budding rivalry here on this side of the state.
Oh, sure, you bet. Those two teams have a lot of talent, both of them. You have one that runs the ball and controls the clock, and you have one that can throw the ball and mix things up. And Hillcrest is a very physical team. They both love to blitz. So you might see some big plays in this game on Friday, because they both, they play a lot of man-to-man. But I look for a battle kind of like a high-scoring that they had earlier this year. But it'll be interesting to see who, and it might come down to see who has the ball last once again.
That's what it was last time, right?
Yeah, and it's so they're both quality teams, very physical teams, both of them. But again, you got three 4A Southeast Idaho teams that are extremely well coached, all three of them, and all three of them have a great chance of bringing home the title.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that third one now. Pocatello headed out west to take on Bishop Kelly, looking to hand the Knights their first loss of the season. What do you think the Thunder might have to do to come away with the win in that one?
They have to be perfect. They can't have turnovers. They've got to create turnovers. They've got to have some splash plays early on, get a score, couple scores, where they're not trying to play catch up, and then they can give the ball to the running back and try to work that clock, and that's kind of an ingredient to win in that situation. It's tough to play in the Boise Valley. You got to stay close and then try to win that sucker in the end.
Perfect. Now let's jump down to 3A. Sugar Salem in that early game tomorrow night at Holt Arena, taking on Weiser. They're obviously a wagon right now, just state championship after state championship. What is something that they do program-wide that you can sort of highlight that makes them this good year in and year out?
I think that it starts with the young groups. They come up, they learn that system, that veer type things that they run. It's hard to get prepared for. You can't match that type of stuff in practice, the speed of it. They're very physical. They have great athletes where it counts. They'll sit there and lull you to sleep, run, and all of a sudden they'll throw it over the top, and it's a touchdown. But, I haven't actually seen them play, firsthand, other than, 7-on-7 stuff. But even on that, being a running team, they can throw the ball, they can run the ball, they can control the clock, and they're very physical. Weiser is going to be interesting because that was the state championship, in 2021? You know, and I know that coming back, it's going to be a battle tomorrow night in that first game.
Yeah, that'll be at Holt Arena, Highland, and thereafter, like we said. We'll have highlights from all those games we just talked about, plus a couple more, and final scores from all around the state. Coach, thanks so much for joining us, and
Absolutely.
really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Drive to the State title is sponsored by BMW of Idaho Falls.